The good in Scoob is that Scrappy-Doo is nowhere to be found.
What's the idea? You can't do this to me! People adore me! Ow! I'm as cute.
The bad is that numerous and many things are bad, and the ugly is very ugly. Very ugly. Oh, I'm not talking about the frankly mad as a box of plugs fraught, the relentless march of the Easter eggs, the bizarre fact that Simon Cowell is a fairly major plot point, which is random enough where I tell you that this film has absolutely no scene whatsoever, or the fact that Dick Dastardly, who can neither win a race nor catch a pigeon, has turned into Gru, complete with an army of highly marketable minions, and arguably the weirdest plot I think I've ever seen, even in a kids' film. No, the ugly is quite frankly the way the film looks. I mean, the animation goes from looking passable, Scooby looks great, to just frankly looking creepy. The animation varies from looking like bad stop motion to having all the human figures look like creepy Barbie Ken dolls, and then they careen all over the uncanny valley like the world's most amazing roller coaster until the end credits start rolling. But if you can get past the creepy animation, then there's a lot here to find very confusing. Look, Scoob, and I really hate that title. When was the last time you saw punctuation in a film title? Especially a title that's a single word. Anyway, Scoob is the jumping off point for a Hanna-Barbera shared cinematic universe. Not sure how you can build a cinematic universe out of a bunch of cartoons that barely had any continuity and non-main cast-beating characters, but whatever. The choice of those meddling kids as the origin point for your cinematic universe is a good one. They're arguably the most recognisable brand that Hanna-Barbera possesses, except for Tom and Jerry, and the last thing this world needs is more Tom and Jerry films. It's a good way to explain the other films. One of their films, they're helping the Wacky Races, Next Yogi Bear, Johnny Quest, Josie and the Pussycats, the list goes on. I'd leave it a while before trying to bring in the Flintstones and the Jetsons though, but that isn't what they did. They brought in Blue Falcon, who I'd never heard of, because this is cinema in 2020, and apparently the only way to get anything done is through the medium of lycra-clad fashion disaster. But that's the film's central issue. There's two central narratives here that don't really gel. In one corner, you have the Scooby Gang, who split after Simon Cowell, playing himself, says that he can only invest in them as a business if they get rid of Scooby and Shaggy, leading to an arc that you can probably already guess. Then in the other corner, you have Blue Falcon, trying to escape the shadow of his father whilst being a social media obsessed twit, who's backed up by a talking dog with more gadgets than Gromit, and a young woman who could do better than him with both arms and legs tied behind her back. These three have to try and stop Gru Dastardly from getting hold of Scooby and using him to... Okay, so you know how a big part of Scooby-Doo is that there's no such thing as magic and there's always a rational explanation for everything? Well, here, there's a door to the Greek afterlife, and you're just going to have to deal with it. The Greeks got it right, and you are fools! Fools, I say, to ever have doubted. Sorry, Odin. But even leaving aside the creepy visuals, bonkers / boring plots that could easily be completely split from each other into two very different and better films, the fact that this is 2020 and the only way you can get an animated film done is by hiring loads of celebrities to be instantly forgettable as our leads instead of getting actual voice actors in. Seriously, how else would Mark Hamill have been as Dick Dastardly? Look, I don't want to give the impression that this film is completely awful. There is heart of a sort, and I did grow to like / tolerate some of the creepy Barbie people, but this didn't feel like Scooby-Doo. Where was the deductive reasoning, the traps, the fact that Scooby-Doo is a coward and not a tough guy? Did this do well in making money? Of course. It's a new kids film being released whilst the entire world's on lockdown, but why would you watch it again when you could just watch a few episodes of the original? Or watching 2018's utterly fantastic Scooby-Doo and Batman the Brave and the Bold, because yes, there's a few moments here that made me smile, but the negatives far outweigh the very few positives that this film has. Look, as a bright distraction, it'll hold the half pint's attention. It's not completely terrible once you ignore the Fred, Daphne, Velma and Simon Cowell subplot. It's a fairly generic film about a bunch of people trying to stop a supervillain that you've seen done 100 times before and 100 times better with your predictable ticking clock scavenger hunt plot. It's arguably one of the most overused plots in film at the moment. I mean, yes, this is an Iron Man setup film rather than a DC Universe setup film where all the universe setup stuff happens in the end credits, so if you don't know your Jabba Jaws from the Great Grape Ape show, and why wouldn't you, I wouldn't worry too much. Even the film would have been better as Blue Falcon teaming up with Hong Kong Phooey, Johnny Quest and Space Ghost to stop Dastardly, but starting with the moneymaker is a good call, I guess. Your time will come, Hong Kong Phooey. So, I guess what I'm saying is just skip it, because the world needs another cinematic shared universe less than it needs another James Corden film, and while this film will entertain, it won't last. Except in your children's nightmares, of course. But what do you guys think? And what franchise from your childhood would you like to see turned into a shared universe? Comment below, let me know. I'm Daniel, it's been a donkey. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe.